So I'm sure you heard from your parents yesterday that we are going to begin a fully remote Friday schedule. Now, what does that mean? That means for the next 5 Fridays of school, we are going to be fully remote. In other words, students will not meet with teachers in person on those Fridays. Now, let me clarify. All students are welcome to attend school on those days, but you would be working in different places in our building remotely. So you could still get breakfast, you could still have lunch, you would be supervised here in the building, but you wouldn't be meeting face to face with teachers. So what would that look like? Well, let's talk about what it is and what it isn't. First of all, it's going to be a day where all students are remote. It's a day when students can get help from teachers. And it's a day of scheduled school. Now, what it's not just support for remote learners. We want to make sure that all students that are struggling get an opportunity to work in small groups or one-to-one with your teachers. That's what this is about. This is a day to help students that need extra support. It is not optional to complete the day's assignment in each class. Every Friday, you will have an assignment or an activity in each of your classes. It might require you to do an assignment. It might just require you to reflect on something that was taught earlier in the week. But there'll be something that you're responsible to take care of on that Friday academically for each class. And then understand that it's not optional to attend your teacher's 30-minute support time if you are requested to be there. You would not be invited to be there if you weren't somebody the teacher thought needed the support. Basically, if they looked at your grade and realized that you need some help. Now understand that teachers might choose to invite an entire class to come to their 30-minute support time. It is not optional. And then finally, what you need to know is those Fridays are not a day off. So what will these fully remote Fridays look like? Well, there's going to be a morning schedule. Every class will have a 30-minute intervention period or support time. So that means every teacher will request either some or all of their students to attend for 30 minutes for their class, first hour through 7th hour. Students who choose to come to school will have a place spread out in the building and supervised where you can have your Chromebook, you can have your headphones in, and you can meet with those teachers remotely just like you would do from home, but you can do that from school. Again, that would be for those students whose parents really want you to be at school versus at home, and to have the opportunity to get breakfast and lunch. But if you are staying home or coming to school, it doesn't change the fact that if you are invited to a support time during 1st through 7th hour, you would need to report remotely to that class. The teacher would have a link in their Google Classroom, most likely the same link they use for all their Google Meets that hour, for you to jump on and to attend that support time. We will continue to share out the schedule. Understand that teachers are going to use this time to help students who are struggling. That is the purpose of this. It's hard to do that when you have remote learners and in-class learners at the same time. These fully remote Fridays are going to allow us to do that. So to give you more clarity on what these days will look like, students do not have to come to school. We're going to survey you on Monday. We're going to give you a Google form by email just to find out who wants to come to school. When I say who wants to come to school, I mean who really needs to come to school or would like to be a remote learner from school on those Fridays. Everybody has a different family situation. Some people have parents that both work, and there might be a reason why it's not a good idea for some students to stay at home during the day. If that's the case, everybody who needs to can attend school. We will have a place for you. We will have you spread out safely, just like we always do. There will be adults to work with you, support you as far as making sure your technology is working, that you have access to restrooms, again, breakfast and lunch, those types of things. But you will be working remotely here if you come to school, just like you would if you were at home. Again, we're going to use a Google form early next week to determine how many students are interested in coming to school so we can make sure we have enough breakfast and lunch. All students are going to have an assignment or an activity for each class. Even though it's a remote day, you will log into your Google Classroom and there will be an activity or an assignment for each hour of the day. So plan on that. And then if your teacher requests you on Thursday or even on Wednesday, they could tell you that you must attend their 30-minute support time. You need to be there. Again, we showed you that schedule earlier. This schedule is what we're going to use in the morning for those support or intervention times. It's 30 minutes. Again, it's not optional. So why would we do this? Again, it comes back to supporting students. This is a unique time this year. We have never had to try to teach students in class and at home at the same time. It's a challenge for teachers. We're seeing the impact with students' grades. We want to make sure we have one day a week to help students get caught up, to help students feel like they understand what's been taught, to make sure that you can get your grades up if you're struggling. So to summarize, these fully remote Fridays are going to be all remote. Students are invited to come to school, but they do not have to because it's fully remote. It is going to have a morning schedule where students will be requested to meet with teachers each hour. Again, it could be some of the students in a class, it could be the entire class. And every student will have an activity or an assignment in each class on those Fridays. So even if you are not requested to meet during support time, you will still have an assignment in Google Classroom to complete. We believe this Friday remote schedule is going to help us to support those students that need just a little extra time in a smaller group of students.